we sing for Ganesh Baba. Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha. Come on everybody, help me sing. Let's Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha Shri Rama Sharanam Sharanam Shri Rama Shri Rama Sharanam Sharanam Shri Rama Shri Rama Sharanam Sharanam Shri Rama Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha. Prem se bolo Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. Come sing a song with me, Nan. Then we'll get going. Then she take a chair and she use your. PA man is coming. PA guy is coming. Eh? Yeah, it's very quick.
Such?
He gone to get her book then.
Shankara Shiva Shankara
Prem se bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Everybody, let's all stand as we begin with Arti. You have your copy of the Arti? You have your copy of the Arti? As we are about to wear the divine light, Sajam cha vardi sanyuktam Grahina yojitam mayam Deepam grihana devesham Trailokyat mirapaham Jai Jai Bhagwat भगवान की है आरती पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही जग की मंगल के आरती पापियों को जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत श्रापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्शन दिखाने वाला ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत श्रापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्शन दिखाने वाला है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी ये मधुसूदन की आरती
पापियों को पाप से है तारती
जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती
पापियों को पाप से है तारती
ये मधुर बोल जग पंड खोल सन मार्ग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला, सन्मार्ग निकालने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला, श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही, श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही, प्रभु की महिमा के आरती। एवरीबॉडी।
पापियों को पाप से तारती, जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। पापियों को पाप से है तारती, जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। पापियों को पाप से तारती।
ओम नमो नारायण, हरि ओम नमो नारायण, ओम नमो नारायण, हरि ओम नमो नारायण,
ओम नमो नारायण,
हरि ओम नमो नारायण,
ओम नमो नारायण,
हरि ओम
नमो नारायण,
हरि ओम
नमो
नमो नारायण। Principle of Vrindavan, Bihari Lala ki jai. Everybody please have your seat and make yourself comfortable as we are about to join in our Sumran and opening mantras. For those of you joining on live, Sitaram and welcome. This morning we do our first session. Pandit Sunil and Pandit Puran have completed their first installation, their first session of Bhagwat Puja, Govardhan Puja, Chausat Yogni Puja being done. And the invocation is about to begin now. Everybody, those of you at home, those of you here, put your hands together. Close your eyes. Prabhu, by your grace, you have afforded me the time, the effort, the ability, the health to come and do Bhagavad worship. Mahavishnu, it is this auspicious month of Shravan. On Tuesday, the Adig Mass, this auspicious month called Purushottam Mass. Something we'll be discussing more and more. You have given me the opportunity to be in your worship, to be in your place. Thank you for this chance. Please hear my prayer. In each and every person's life, we all have desires, we all have predicament and problem. Here comes a moment. Sometimes we think, Bhagwat, okay, they're going to have Yagna, they're going to have Puja, Prasad, and you identify Yagya with certain things. What do I get? But when you hear the name Bhagwat, when you hear certain things are going to be chanted, different type of prayers, stotra, puja, understand here comes an opportunity in simple language for me to get blessings, an opportunity to overcome the troubles that I am facing. As we sit together with our hands clasped, let's pray. Om Gajananam Bhut. Everybody, lift your voices. Kapet Jambu
Palacharabakshitam
Uma Sutam Sho
Kavinashakarakam
Namami Viganeshwara
Parapankajam
Sarvamangala Mangalye
Shive Sarvartha Sadhike
Sharanye
Trayambike Gauri
Narayani
Namo
12 syllable mantra, the magic mantra, according to Puran. It burns away janam after janam of sin, pap, the thing that is causing us trouble. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. One last time. Om Namo Bhagavate. Everybody say it and ask God to help you this morning.
Vasudevaya.
Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. As we enter into Bhagwat, there are many misconceptions. People sometimes, for example, just to give you an idea, in August month, I have to read Mahabharat in Arangwes. Mahabharat is the text. If this big book, follow me for children to understand, if this big book is Mahabharat, Bhagavad Gita is this little one that comes from inside Mahabharat. This is where it is. This is where it's coming out from. The person says to me on the phone, Pandit, I've heard if I read Mahabharat or if I have Mahabharat reading, the little confusion in the family, in the story, simple language, one family fighting another family for property, that trouble is going to come into my home. So it is a bad book to read. And in that family, for some reason, they walked away with the ideas. You know how they say, they said and them said, and I hear the old people say, that kind of thing. That it's so bad that if you have the book in your house, you can have discord in marriage, separation, divorce, etc. And there's no such rule, truthfully. Some of these misconceptions is why we do Yagna. The word Yagna, if you did not know, translates into sacrifice. If I am sacrificing, I am giving my time, I am giving my effort, I am giving my flowers, whatever you have, then God is going to see what you give and how, what is karma? How you give is so you get. This morning for the people who sat for puja, they gave, for example, flowers that have a nectar in it. Remember when we were small and we used to pull the little, how you call that, the stigma from the exora and used to suck the little honey? Imagine the deal. Ganesh Baba, Durga Mata, Mother today come with a simple flower that have a lot of sweetness in it. And the law of karma says, I'm giving sweetness, bless me with sweet times. Imagine somebody sickly this morning, or they have a little confusion in their life, in their house, in their job. Dear God, bless me with sweet times. Bring peace into my life. I passed through the trouble. Imagine the exam, the test, the court matter, whatever it is. And because of anxiety now, I'm still wired. I can't sleep, I can't rest. My body can't shut down. I can't sleep in the night. How am I going to feel tomorrow? Imagine last night for me, we have to get up 3 o'clock in the morning. We have to make parasat. Pandit Sunil come in. I have to make sure everything ready. Has it ever happened to you in your life? Tomorrow is a big day. And I have so much to do, so much going on that I cannot shut down. Some people have that when you have a big moment. Suppose there's nothing going on. Tomorrow is a normal day. But I cannot find peace to sleep. Then everything in your life becomes very frustrated, angry, your diet, etc. In this way, different people have different challenges. And the purpose of Bhagwat, this Yagna was done initially and continues to be done so that the person could make a sacrifice. Sacrifice not meaning anything with blood or gorish, but there are people that is making sweet rice. There are people, Baba, like this young fella, Vishal, he can't cook yet. He mother trust. I hope he mother trust him by the stove. But he have flowers in his yard. Baba, I planted my hibiscus. And he's bringing his hibiscus not for Pandit, but be clear, he's bringing it for Lord Krishna. How you give is so you get. In our Yagna, we have a lot of families. Look around who doing puja this morning, who cooking, who was cleaning, who was fixing. It wasn't the older heads alone. It was young people. This morning, the prasad, the food, everything for everybody to eat. Young people. So that the day come, they have to go to cook in their home. They know what they're doing. So much to discuss in this one Yagna. Before we do so, put your hands together, all shrotas, everybody looking on. We are going to ask for permission to do our initial reading, page 1, Skand 1. What is Bhagwat? Why do we have Bhagwat? What is that about? Dear Lord, please listen to this sinner. My prayer, I have exams, I have this trial, I have that tribulation, I have a little test. I'm watching Pandit from a distant country. I'm in the hospital. I'm in a different place. I have different trouble coming. Prabhu, please, if by listening to prayer, if by watching prayer, a person can get blessings, please help me. Let's go together, everyone. Redhi Siddhi Datta Siddhi Sadhana Varana Varana Sumiro Barambar Madana Kadana Ke Lal Ko Ganapati Kripanidan Dhyana Khani Ananda Bhavana Dehu Mohi Vardhan Madana Kadana Ke Lal Ko Ganapati Kripanidhan Jnana Khani Ananda Bhavana Dehu Mohi Vardhan Varno Bhasha Bhagwat Jai Shiva Ananda Khan Bhutnath Bhaubhaya Harana Bhakti Vishaya Nirvan Gauravadana Mangala Karana He Braja Chandra Mukunda Braja Bhushana Dushana Harana Khatahu Bhava Bhaya Panda Sharana Sharana Le Anakara Jai 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 Jagadisha Sevata Shesha Maheshada Mahimamita Bheva Veda Veda Janat Rahe Redhi Siddhi Data Siddhi Sarana Varana Varana Sumiro Barambar Sumiro Barambar Madana Kadana Ke Lal Ko Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. In Bhagwat, in the beginning, all the munis, when you're reading Shiv Puran, Devi Puran, Naimisharanya is this holy place where people used to go to discuss and to have yagya, to listen. Remember when Sabri Mata is speaking to Sri Ram, what did they talk about? Tell me, Prabhu, how am I going to get blessing? Suppose I can't do the puja for whatever reason, I can't reach the temple. Suppose because of different things, I cannot sit for the physical puja. How am I going to get the blessing? When you are watching satsang home, regardless of who is the pandit or what text they're reading, how is it possible that I can look at television or listen to the radio and get blessing? When we were small, elders used to hear them. It have Bhagwat in the temple, are going to watch the prayers, are going to listen to your family prayers. They have prayers, are going to witness the prayers. How does that translate into blessing? Sri Ram says there are 9 forms of devotion or bhakti. when a person practices Shravanam, the month of Shravan going on right now. Shravan month, what is the way to do puja? On a Monday, besides the offering on the lingam, every day, listen to the discourse of the Lord. That is the way to carry yourself in this month. You are supposed to go or listen. Now we have technology. Put it on your phone and listen to a discourse. Go on YouTube and listen to something. Shravanam. When the person practices, I want to hear about God. This is how I'm going to get the blessing. Very good. Shabri Mata then says, what's the next way? Darshanam. I want to see what is happening. Why do you stand when Arti is going on? Just because to make sure nobody is blocking me. I want to be able to see the Murti when the light is passing. Are we doing that? Behave now. I want to see the Murti when they're waving the light. Understand what you're doing. I am offering the light to the God. In everything, the sindur, the tikka, the perfume, I'm giving the devta. But in the thali, when you're doing the arti, the heat energy, the light energy, dear God, I'm giving this. When time for me to get health, when I need help, when I need money, please send the energy to do it. Naimisharanya is full of all these young pundits, young aspiring pundits, young sages, yogis, you call them. And their guru is speaking and they wanted to hear one discourse after the other. And so many different texts was done. And where we enter is where they ask about this thing called Bhagwat. Let's hear what happens as we enter chapter 1 of the Sri Mahabhagavad Puran. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya
Namo Namah.
Come on everybody, let's sing together.
Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
Taikadatu manya prataye hota hogayetam satyakritam ye satatata yena praptascha ridhiyatam.
Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
Narayanaya Krishnaya
Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
Yani Veda Vedyam Shreshto Bhagwat Ye Varavarayana Anyate Manu Ye Sutta Purandara Vedo Veda Ye Ati.
Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
Come on everybody.
Narayanaya
Krishnaya
Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo.
Namah. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. One day after doing their Nitya Karma. Nitya Karma is a very fancy word for something called your morning worship, your morning puja. If somebody comes to you and they say, okay, you have prayers this morning, good. What is your normal routine the morning when you have your puja? You get up, you have your bath, you shower, maybe you, what local language we offer, or dar or jal. Maybe you do your jap, your guru mantra, light your diya at a minimum. But although we are very busy getting this, putting that, having it in place, your time, manage yourself. that this is the day I am going to do my prayers. I am going to get ready to offer, etc. What we just talked about, flowers, sweet rice, etc. I must prepare myself properly. So the first thing your prayer begins with, your bath. The first thing that is supposed to happen when you're going to bathe, let's say we're going on Tirat, we would go and dip in the Ganga and then go in the temple to do worship. You'd get wet first and then go to offer Tarpan. Let's say we go Gaya or these great places. In our homes, people who do a lot of Havan like myself, this morning I took the basma or the ashes from my Havan where we did Gayatri Havan, and you take it and after you let the water fall on your body, you're saying Gayatri now and you're scrubbing your skin, just like what you do for Makar Sankranti or for any Sankranti. In order to prepare myself for God, I must cleanse my body. And how you do, an easy way, whether you have the ashes or not, you let Gayatri run, saying the mantra while the Gayatri is being chanted to purify your body. For those people who are married and you come together as husband and wife, to be quite straightforward, how do you clean yourself from that type of contaminant for puja? Before you go from being husband-wife moment, copulation, you chant your Gayatri while the water falling on you to clean yourself before you enter into worship. Cleansing ritual in Hinduism or Sanatan Dharma is paramount. This is why the first thing we do when we get to the Bedi, before we start to offer this, that and the other, we are washing hands, we sip in water to purify the person internally, externally. Then we focus, you will see Pandit sprinkling water to rid the place of any spiritual contaminant. I remember one time I went to pray, and after I was sprinkling the water, the lady said, "But Pandit, you know, we mop here. You don't have to worry. It's clean." Sometimes we miss the point that when the Baba is saying his mantra, it's spiritual cleansing. In case there was somebody who came from let's say a hospital or a place where somebody died, they are unclean in that way, or a soul is unrested as in the vicinity of our puja, we charge the water with the name of Lord Vishnu, and you're sprinkling in this way to say, and I'm saying it in English, "Dear soul, Jambi, boot, take this water, touched by God, and go." When that leave, your place come clean. The place is not heavy, suitable now for worship. With this type of cleansing now and all their job done, all these young fellas came together and they went behind the Guru. "Guruji, you have been reading from one text to the other. Not only have you read it, but you have explained it. And we have been listening to Narad Puran, we have been listening to Bhavesh Puran coming down the road. Now we have heard something that was written by Ved Vyas. Please tell us about Bhagwat. What is this about? Please tell us what is this, the purpose of this book. What's the difference between this text and the other text? What will it bring to an individual just by listening?" Let's hear what he starts to explain to them. By listening to this, it will set the tone for our entire Yagna. It explains why we are endeavoring with all this work 3 times for the day. For the person who's sitting for this entire Yag, they have to sit down in 7 days and do 22 sessions of puja. When you check 7 days by 3 times, 21, and the closing Gita part, 22. It's a lot of work. Food is being made. Prasad is being made every single session, fresh and clean stuff. Why all this effort? Let's hear. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam. Come on, everybody. Those of you at home, help us sing. Come on.
Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Prana Kalpa Vesatayam Kaleva Sire Yuga Janaham Manda Sumanda Ye Yoga Manda Bhaga Hridayapi Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jaya Bole
सयोगे तात्र येन मुनिश मुनिश ये चतपर जय भोले बाबा तब शरणा
जय बोले बाबा तब शरणा
जय भोले बाबा तब शरणा
जय बोले बाबा तब शरणा
जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणा
जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणा
जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम प्रेम से बोलो उमापति महादेव की जय Guruji, please give us, communicate us in brief, if just the explanation, why was this book created? Who caused this book to be created and what's the benefit? I have heard that this Bhagwat has a different rank. It has a different, in terms of efficacy, it has a great amount of potency. Please tell us about it. Guruji says, as you know, there is something called Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is a time when people's lifespan becomes very short. People don't want to hear about prayers. People don't want to know about prayers. They want solutions for their problem. But the idea that I have to fast, abstain, sit for puja, etc., it is not as attractive. So, in this way, Vedvyas took from the Vedas, he took the scientific, the different type of meter and method, language that is there, and he puts it in a more delicate, in a more softer tone, so that the person listening would be able to understand one, and two, walk away with a lot of blessing by the practice of listening to the words of Lord Krishna that are in Lord Vishnu, that are in Bhagwat Puran. In this time of Kali Yuga, people become very dull. So the person cannot interpret the Vedas like how people used to interpret before. The person forgets a lot. They're very oppressed by the limitations of their body. Baba, I cannot fast, I have sugar. Baba, I cannot fast, I have pressure. Baba, I cannot fast because of the children. Baba, I cannot fast because this, that, and the other. And it is relevant, it is real. For some people, it is more troublesome if you have a twin or triplet. How are you going to sit down to do puja? How am I going to make the prasad if the children only darting into the pot, for example? In this life, somehow, in this time, it feels like everything's set against you. You cannot do it. And he says, in this age where a person needs the blessing the most, it becomes the most difficult thing to get done. Separately, all the scriptures talk and they list out different things, beautiful things. But the soul of this text that Shaunak Rishi is referring to is the form of Lord Vishnu. And the person listening to his pastimes gains great amount of blessing. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Let's hear what he continues to tell them. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Yat par sangshrishta sutta par manyate pranashyate sadhya punanatya shrishti yatham shrishwanat yoga pal vishwaye ayatam.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
In this life, in this Kali Yuga, mankind is going to be cast into like a dirty drain. Their life is mixed with a lot of filth, nasty things, nasty people, ungrateful people, people with secondary motive. They smile, but they want to cut you down. People in your family hate you. They jealous you. In this Kali Yuga, nobody is going to want to see you raise up. When you raise up, you become a target. So the person has to do what they must to wash this filth. Imagine the imagery for a child to understand. The only water that could wash this filth off the individual is the teachings, the glory, the history of Mahavishnu. Just as a person, when mud comes on their skin, oh godchildren, they go by the Ganga and they take her water and they wash their body. They become clean. That mud is not going to mix into their blood and their body does not become part of them. But that is not me. I am affected by the circumstance that is around me. I am a target for crime. I am a person perpetrated and pushed and bullied, and I cannot be myself. Then the only thing to remove that filth from your life, the only thing to move that block from your prayer is the word, the history, and the glory of Mahavishnu. Let's hear what he says. Come on, everybody. Ko ava bhagwat ye si punna ke loka ye karmana ye atmanam vishwa ye atita vishwakarmaya he tasya pariyatam.
Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol.
This Bhagwat is a testimony of the movement, the different avatar of Mahavishnu. Lord Vishnu was told in a different text called Vishnu Puran that you will be the star. You will be the one that will be the center of all the Leela. For this reason, we have Lord Shiva, we have Saraswati Mata, we have Ganesh Baba, but Lord Vishnu is the one who comes as Sri Ram. Lord Vishnu is the one who comes as Narsingh, and Lord Shiva, Brahma, Devi, everybody is supporting him. He comes 10 times, and in Bhagwat, it captures all the different avatars. It tells you of his story as Krishna, as Ram, as Narsingh, Vaman, etc. It tells you how Payovrat is done by the mother of the Vaman or the dwarf to get this child, to get this quality of child. And he says, what? Dear mother, you're praying for a child. There's nobody like me. There's only me. I am going to come as a child. And Lord Vishnu came into her womb in this example, and she gained the lust of the Lord. Guruji says in this time when people's lifespan is very short, when we need the blessings now, quickly, sickness, difficulty, banditry, skullduggery, all these things are happening. He says, oh children, recite with reverence all the glories of Lord Vishnu in any one of his avatars, and emancipate, free the sinner from the punishment they are existing from. Let's hear what happened. Vayam tu yetam Vishnu uttam yahe uttam loke yakam kavikam yahe. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Everybody.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Shri Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. When you go to Bhagwat and you practice listening to the glory of Mahavishnu in any of the avatars, that could be Krishna, that could be Ram, that could be the dwarf, that could be like this picture here, the Narsingh with the lion head. I want to know the history, I want to understand it. He says when the person has an insatiable craving just to listen. Some people, when you go to temple, I know about temple. I know about God. You ain't know about God, you is not a good person. The truth is, the person who is a good devotee according to this, who is the right person, who is in the line to get the A and all the blessing, the person who has the desire to hear. That is all. Not necessarily that I know all them fancy name, the language, the in and outs of the text. No. This is the point where the person is maybe for the first time listening to it. And you know what? I don't know nothing about them things. But I want to know. With that type of earnest, with that type of desire, with that craving, the person is going to come to me. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. When the person with this appetite listens to the text, I disguise myself. Guruji is saying, Lord Krishna says, Lord Vishnu will disguise himself and I will walk in your life as Ram, as Krishna, as any one of my avatar. This is the blessing. He says, in the land where you live, as Kali Yuga is coming, the puja will have to get shorter and shorter. Think about what I say. The prayer. How much people doing this type of prayer now? Most of the time, if you want to do Ramayana in the correct way, long time, it used to be 9 nights Ramayana. 9 nights Devi Bhagwat. 7 days, 7 nights Mahabhagwat Puran. But now everybody do 1 or 3 nights. The prayers getting shorter and shorter. Baba, finish the prayers quick. Finish the prayers quick. But I want the same blessings. The person who wants to conquer Kali Yuga has to find some peace of mind, some joy in listening to the Katha of Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, so that they are able to get the blessing and to do the type of work, offerings like the flowers, because of the motivation that I love my Lord and I have 2 hibiscus growing in my yard and I want to bring that for him. Krishna Arpan. Let's hear what happens in this next verse. Ya Devi Sarvabhuti Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye Namastasye
Namastasye Namo Namah Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita
Brahmaye Yogeshwarayatam Krishna Krishnaye Yati Brahma Parayena Dharma Karmaniye Swakaksha Ye Yati
Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita
Namastasye
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 Namastasye Namo Namah Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena
In this age of Kali Yuga, when there's a plot, there's a plan somewhere to damage, harm, hurt, use, abuse you, it is a matter of time before you become a victim of some heinous or some vicious malignment, some attack. Therefore, it is for the sensible person to know that they must do what they can to help themselves. By doing so, ridding the dirt that people are slinging at you, people are attacking you, they are threatening you, how to overcome it? Listen to Bhagwat discourse. But not just any discourse, the discourse that is done and food is shared, prasad is shared, the goodness, those aspects are being done to fulfill your ritual. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Shortly we will be closing the first session. Let me ask you this today, you have puja. Now it's just we here. Answer for me. When does your prayer finish? Normal puja, not Bhagwat. Normal puja. I come home by you to do prayers, me and Pandit Sudil, and things happening. When is your prayer finished? Plenty people go say, Baba, when the Baba said, Twame Vamata. Agreed? Bhagavad Gita says, for your puja to be completed, food stuff must be shared. Food, prasad, something. It doesn't say what recipe. So the idea that I have prayers food, I must make chana and aloo, out the door. If I don't have help, if I cannot afford it, what does that mean? I can't do prayers now. The truth is, the criteria for the food, wants it clean. So in the kitchen, as all you know, we make a big fuss about hairnets. We try to wash and fix and prep the day before so that when time to cook now, everything done ready, it's clean. In the same way, in your home, you prepare simple but clean, simple but clean. For example, in Trinidad tradition, long ago, for the older heads here, or you could tell me more, it had a tradition of cooking, how you call it, in Palmist Heart. If you had Palmist Heart, wow, that was a delicacy, Mr. Charles. Mr. Palmist Heart gone. All you cut down all the people tree. Yeah, no more. So then we revert and we settle for Shatine. Mr. Shatine is also leaving. You can't get it as you would like. So then you realize, is it the recipes that is giving me a blessing? Nope. If I'm living abroad this morning, I'm sure there are people. It had a lady, she asked me, Pandit, could I, and I'm touching on it just to make sure we're on the same page. Hear the question. I want to cook the food, I want to serve this, that, and the other, but I have no help. The children live in different countries, long story short, and it's just me alone. But could I make, let's say Sunday coming, next week Sunday, is the ending or the beginning, of the Yagna. Pandit, could I cook the roti, last week I'm talking about now, Monday, the chana Tuesday, the pumpkin Wednesday, and I'll refrigerate everything. And unknown, don't tell Pandit Sunil anything else. Shh. Because Pandit Sunil only eat fresh food. So I never understand why. I don't know if anybody had a mother-in-law or father-in-law a long time. People would never eat stale food. Fresh food, hot food. And that is what we just say. But oh God, all your old time people are so troublesome. Where are you doing that for? And then you realize you don't know the rules for your prayers. That's why I'm touching on it. Could I do that? Could I refrigerate? Here the question, a valid question. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I want to cook final product, everything, chuck it in the fridge. And two hours before, I guess, the puja, we're going to start to heat it up from our side. Food will come out with steam. It will look fresh. Some of these rules, in all fairness, it were not made, Sitaram, everybody, welcome. They were not made in the age when we had refrigeration or these preserving methods that we have now. So there are exceptions that even we don't take into consideration with the puja. For example, the milk you offer by a lingam, did we offer milk today? Shravan month, we had to worship Lord Shiva. But I know milk to spoil easy. How long that milk sit on in the grocery shelf? It have a preserving effect inside that milk. So there are people who could tell Tanti, you can't make that. How you can microwave the food that is fresh? Panikeshava said the rule is 1 pahar. 1 3 hours block. This is why we just cook parasad the morning for your prayer. This is why we just cook the food fresh for your prayer. Prior to the age of refrigeration and other, preserving methods, like how in some places they have to cook a dish with baigan or sweet pepper, they will put a little preserving salt. So the bacteria cannot proliferate or grow or spread. Your food will last. Those things didn't exist when these books were written. So it says, the idea that I could cook the food yesterday, don't refrigerate, just leave it in a pot, and then expect to come and eat it today. When you hear people talk about fresh food, that was done because there was no refrigeration. Some people okay with it. Me personally, I believe that when you're doing prayers, make the best. Do it fresh. Do it the right way. But you are bombarded as young people. You are bombarded by all type of things. And they come at you in a very, very, very straightforward way. For that pack of milk to remain however long you know it, is radiation they're using to kill the bacteria. Just as the radiation happens in the microwave. So there is technology that is not, to be honest and fair, very straightforward, that is not considered in our text because that technology came after. So there's no way it says, okay, microwave is bad, microwave is good. But the freshness of the prayer, of the prasad, for example, is the issue. The person prepares fresh food. If it could be a fig, it could be something you create, cook, but share something so that when the person, I'm explaining how to get your blessing, and remember what I said. When the person eat the fig and say, oh Lord, that fig is sweet. I'm so happy I get that prasad. Oh Lord, I get food, thank you. There is where your puja, all puja, that is why your puja finished. If somebody asks you, think about it. Where is invite people in your house when you have prayers for? To feed them, to treat them good. And when they say, wow, good thing I come by Zarina prayers. You see that tendency, that gratitude, gratefulness, that is where your puja finished. Says that when the person is able to do this, the problems that the person is experiencing due to Kali Yuga, due to karma, it is destroyed by the holiness of food and the grace of Lord Vishnu. Just as a pilot has to cross the ocean, he's flying the plane to cross the ocean. If the plane does not have gas, it could be the best plane, but it would not reach. Likewise, we have the health, we have the body, we have the best temple, you have the opportunity, but you don't do it with the right way, the right manners, the right attitude. You're not going to get where you want, but you're in the temple. And this is a trap that many people fall in. I dress for praise. I look the part. I am singing the bhajan. I am playing this, that, and the other. But I feel as if my life is not changing. I'm not seeing betterment. Everybody look, they're doing hawan, touch hand. All shoulders, touch hand. Everybody who did puja. In Bhagwat, we fluid here. There's had to move. That is okay. That's all right. We have to continue in other section. Let's join together as he continues to explain what is happening. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Vasudev Deva He Bhagwate Bhaksayam Yogaye Prayojate Yogaye Atmanam Janmaye Ayatam Varaye Jnanate Yata Vedo Yatam Jnaye Ayate.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Sitaram, Sitaram. The supreme dharma, when Bhagwat is being read and the person is listening, what is the sentiment in Bhagwat? Different texts push a certain amount of energy on a person. You listen to Vishnu Puran, you listen to Shiv Puran, you may not cry. You may not get emotional. It is information. Lord Shiva incarnates as Hanumanji. Lord Shiva incarnates as the winged form. Lord Shiva incarnates as Virabhadra. Different thing. Okay, and I'm listening, I'm very attentive. Good, I love Lord Shiva. But when you are listening to Bhagwat, and you hear about how Yashoda Mata ties Krishna by that mortar and pestle, and he's called Damodara, and you hear Yashoda Mata had to look inside his mouth and she saw the universe. You hear that Yashoda Mata is vexed with him. There's a discourse, Lord Vasudeva had a yagna, and Krishna comes to look for his father, and he says, Dad, after so long I'm seeing you. And Vasudeva, knowing who he is, he says, please tell me this, and he starts to ask him all types of questions. And Vasudeva felt as if his heart was full, happy his prayers get through. When he finished, Krishna goes inside for Yashoda. Not Yashoda, sorry, Devaki. And he says, Ma, I come. Don't come by me. And you only love your father? Go. Go by him. Don't come by me. Do not come by me. She gets vexed. I am your mother. And so long you see me, and so long you're going to forget me. Now you're hopscotch by everybody. Now you come by me dead last. Where you coming for? Don't come. Ma, we're one girl. What happened, girl? What happened, girl? You're vexed. So you're going to quarrel with me. I hear it have a discourse. You went by your guru, Sandapani Rishi. Lord Krishna Guru is Sandapani Rishi. And when they finished teacher, I hear what you did. The Guruji asked him, when he tell him, well, Guruji, I have to pay you. Class finished. What dakshina you want? He said, I know who he is. You is Lord Vishnu incarnate. You have all the power. I have a son, and my son died. It's one son I have. Could you give me back my son? Could you bring from dead to living my son? And Krishna says, no problem. Is that Sandapani Rishi house? Like how, okay, I live here and everybody come and learn here. Krishna went to live by Sandapani Rishi. And Sudama was his friend. When we hear about the Sudama discourse, in Sandapani Rishi house, two of them was two crook together. And they foster friendship, and Krishna and he had all the mischief. So the person listening to it, listening to the story, growing, two friends, wickedness with the rice, you know the story. Devaki is saying, I hear you went, you're so great. My son is so great. You know how all your mothers talk. You're gone. You're gone, and you bring one son, you bring him back. Watch me. And every lady here, all respect, but hear what she said, eh? I was a mother, and every time I made a child, my brother, not a stranger, my brother, Kans, took the baby by the foot and bashed that child against a wall. Stained the wall with their head, with the blood and the flesh. She said, that is what I saw. But this bosom that God gave me as a woman, this have a lot to do with prayers. You ever went to a wedding and see how they pundit them to tell the lady, rest the boy head by your chest. This is where the boy now getting ready to go from brahmachari to grihasti. Mother, you are no longer responsible. The lady let him go. There are many examples where the bosom becomes integral in prayer. How come I never get to use my bosom? So Christians, stand up quiet now. She says, the first 7 children I made, I never get to feed them. Remember, 1 to 6 dies. The 7th was the girl, Durga Mata, jumps up in the sky. And she says, oh, fool cunts, the one who come to destroy you, Krishna, he's in Gokul. So that means she did not get to feed Durga, and she did not get to feed Krishna because they move he as he born. So she said, what God make me a woman for? What God give me my bosom for? And you there busy fixing and they're giving everybody. But I grieve in my whole life. And you ain't going to study me and you're calling me mother? Don't come and touch my foot. Don't come by me. when you listen to it and you're feeling it, Bhagwat just give you that emotion, that devotion, that feeling inside your heart. I want to know what happened there, Pandit. What happened next? And that is where we're reading. Why? He says that Krishna, who is a friend to the good, his glories sanctify the listener, no less than the person who talking. And you go say the person who read the book to get blessing. Baba, I pick up my Gita and I read my book, and it say when you read your book, you get your blessing. And I understand that with my eyes and my mouth. I said it. Think about the Hanuman Chalisa. The person who chants the Hanuman Chalisa, Bhuta Preta Nikatine, the person who says the name of Hanuman. So if I know it, I say it, I recite it, I get the blessing. But this is saying the person who say it, the person who listen to it, I don't know it, I get the blessing as well. The person who wakes, they sacrifice, they sleep, get up early in the morning, late in the night to listen to the worship. The person who fights the sleep so that they can be present to effectively do puja, brushes away the evils of this world. The person who listens to discourse after discourse, discourse after discourse, for our friend Krishna, the evil that is plaguing this person has to disappear. Bhagwat is that type of practice, that type of vrat, where a person is joining their soul in that type of activity where you are growing the luster of your aura by listening to the glory of Lord Vishnu. Many times people talk about these things, but you don't understand it. If you bow to your murti, let's say like this Ganesh on this swing, simple, why am I bowing? You did puja this morning, I saw you bow by the fire, bow by the diya, bow by the hawan. I am trying to recharge my battery. In simple English, when you watch your pitya, in all those pitya, you see a glow around your devta. And sometimes that aura, because of contact with people, starts to go down. For example, have you ever gone into a satsang where there's a Swami, for example? When, out the road, when Dattatreya Swami comes, and you hear he's walking, everybody is told you can't touch him. You can't touch his feet. And people are, bewildered, but I get to touch my Baba foot. How come? They tell you, the Purohit, me, this is the lowest job. This is the weakest job. Because you doing prayers, hawan, jap, you're burning different type of wood. Today we're burning undumbara wood in that fire, different type of wood. And you take the energy and you will charge your aura. But the Purohit is the person now who doing it, and you get to come and touch. Baba, we bow by your foot. Where you want? Where you bow for? To take energy. And one day the Pandit says, okay, you can't bow by me anymore. What I do is for me, to keep me. Because when you say pay respect, I could bow to you this way. But when you make the touch, just like the God, just like the lingam, the bedi, I am taking the energy to recharge my battery. I am becoming, let me just say, you're conducting the, you ever notice the metal your lota and tarya is? A conductor of electrical energy. And where we just doing the puja, Krishna Arpanavati Parasad, and you pull the energy of the Devta, the land, the element, the fire, the water, the earth to my body. I need healing. I need equilibrium, balance in my system. If anything in your body out of balance, you have insomnia, you can't sleep, your stomach ulcerated, you can't use the toilet, somehow you're not going to function properly, one way or the other. So in your prayers, listening and doing puja, Krishna brings the energy that is able to help you overcome the different problems that plague you. Some of the problems that plague you and you may not realize it, he says when the soul of the person is captured in a body and they are busy, they have become greedy, they have become lusty, they have become covetous, they have become as if they have switched off their spirituality. This is how praises work sometimes. You know, I came in the prayers because I hear Pandit them, for Bhagwat, for the elders, Uncle Madan. You remember when people, I with my nana and them, I remember they say, man, when you're going to Bhagwat, you're getting a little piece of paper or leaf with your mahanbog, and you're looking out for that children home from school, parents sending them, go eat our prayers, go, all you go eat, go up there, go. And that was the reason they came. Think what I said. I didn't come to get salvation. I didn't come to hear nothing. I come for the food, let me be honest. But whilst I was here for the food, whilst I had nothing else to do and I sat down and I listened, something happened inside of me. I never hear Bhagwat before. I may know who is Krishna. If you show me all them murti on the wall there and they say, choose Krishna, may know him. Truthful. But somehow something inside the person, they start to move. And the person becomes interested. That ever happened to you? Home, the little Ganesh or the Shani sitcom happening, and I really never sit down to watch this thing. But I find it going interested. Wife, I go in and sit down and watch this out. I have to see it out. I want to see tomorrow. And likewise, the person becomes so thirsty, so intrigued, interested. You know what? I didn't plan to stay for the next session. I didn't plan to come back. But I feel like that Murti calling me, man. I feel like I want to hear what happening next. Pundit talk about Devki talking about these dead children. I never hear about that. What happened next? What did really happen with them children? Why did, if thy God brother, think what I say, 6 of them, 6 boys, was the brother of Lord Krishna, how come you going to tell me, what did them children do that somebody got mass murder these children? To bash them on the wall? Nobody couldn't save them. As you're hearing it, pay attention to yourself. This is the lesson that he's teaching, this Godfather is teaching these children. You will not understand how Krishna will come like a hand in the puppet, and he will infest your body with feelings. And the person who is very, very neutral becomes moved by the words of who? Not the pundit, not the speaker, but the God. The person starts to enjoy the scent of prayer. You know what I'm talking about? You ever went by somebody's house when they have puja and we know the scent of the ghee or the gogol when it's burning, and you smell it and you say to yourself like the have prayers boy, died parasad boy. Wow. You associate the scent with certain things. You doubt that? When you go and you buy your Glade and your Febreze and your different chemicals today, and you spray it and it's smelling like the ocean or just maybe fresh washed clothes, and immediately in your mind, not in reality, the place is clean, you know, you're spraying on clean. You feel calm, you feel good, you feel peaceful. When the place clean, Auntie Cindy, I grew up with a lady, when she mop and you're smelling bleach, once you smell bleach, you tell yourself it's clean. I could function in this kitchen. Smell, sound, different things, this trigger you. And in the Bhagwat now, something will catch you. I want to cook, I want to offer, I want to do this, I want to do it. I want to do it. And what is the Bhagwat? A Yagna where you are giving. Where you are giving, but not necessarily physical. But I want to talk to my God. I want to share the parasad. I want to share the roti. And in doing it, what you give is so you get. From the wood, the earth, the smoke, all the fire, all the offering, all these things, I see Christians standing. Dear God children, when a person has a past karma, and that past karma is interfering with their present, causing them sickness, hardship, difficulty, restlessness, dark behavior, dark nature, mental problems, spiritual problems, demons attacking the people when they're sleeping. You wouldn't understand that until the day it happened to you. Till you go to sleep as a lady, and when you get up, there are scrape marks on your legs, your private areas, your soft areas, and you're wondering how. If Pandit passed by this table and he bungs his leg on the outside, I understand this is outside. But how come in my private soft areas are getting scrape and dig? Because these unrested souls are searching for people There are different words we could use, but let me just say the gate to the body, the Guru Mantra missing, no yantra on the neck, different things we use to close the person, and they want to feed off your energy. Remember, we just talked about the aura. When the person gets up the next morning, if you had the experience, tell me, you feel like you fight war whole night. Marks on your body, you're bleeding, different things happening there, and you're sick. Sickness comes quick. Says that when the person who has these type of attacks, they are affected by the souls of the ancestors. They cannot have progeny. The person who is pregnant, they should be listening to Bhagwat. Why? Because the child within the womb, they are loose spirit that would like to take that too. There's a discourse in here in Skand 6 where Indra goes into the womb of the enemy, the wife, sees a baby growing, and he decides he wants to cut that child. So is it possible for an entity to enter a lady and next thing you hear stillbirth, miscarriage, etc.? Yes. When the person allows these words, the history of Lord Vishnu, to enter their body by the power of Vasudeva Krishna, by the power of the prayers that you're chanting, the person is protected from the unrest and unnatural. Just by listening, just by doing. When you get the prasad in your hand in a short while and you touch it, do you know how to receive prasad? Prasad by definition is anything God touch. It could be mahanbhog, it could be fruit, it could be korma. But where we just say prasad is defined as anything God touch. So it could be a bowl with some sweet rice. What you do when you get it, this is where God touch. Touch it to your head. Touch it to your heart. God, thank you for coming to me. Thank you for blessing me. But don't be greedy. Don't wrath it through. Take a little piece and feed somebody. Feed your children. Feed an elder. Feed somebody. Share it first. Share your blessing. And then eat. This is the proper way to do it. So what we talk about is praying, offering, feeding people. Imagine how I am stupid. I'm saying me. Imagine I tell somebody, I tell Varun to come to the press. Come now, boy, come in the press. You know how people is? Babs, I had to go to work. All right, no problem. Pass after now, man. Eat something. Just for the food, the boglaga away the food, it bless. Lord Krishna touch it. Eat something. Poor Varun come in the press many hours after the puja finished. And I, with my insultive self, how you come so late? Like you only come for the roti? And you break the heart of that person. Better you didn't invite them to eat. If you have to ridicule that person, better you did not invite them to eat because you're causing sin on yourself. Better you tell him, hey, you want a next piece of roti? Come. From a little child to a big man, it have a way to speak. Come, I want you, come by me, you know. You by me, come on, eat a next piece of roti. I want you to full. You see when that person leave you, they want to say, oh God, this man over-treat me, God. Look, the man pack up food for me too. Oh God, God bless him, eh? There is where you get your blessing. With that type of mindset. Don't come to prayers and feel because you're wearing a better shirt than the other person, you're better than them. You don't know which form God will take. This is why we say Sitaram to everybody. I bow to the God in you. That is what it means. You see God in that fig tree. You see God in that coconut. You see God in every murti. See God in every person. Race, religion, alike. God is everything. And I've already said God is everything. So it have to be everything. It can be some. Vindravan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Everybody, this is the end of our first session. Let's all stand to do Arti. And we close. And then we're going to get set. Reset the entire thing to do it again. Put your hand together. If you're not doing Arti, let's pray. Those of you doing Arti, get set. We are waving that divine light. We are thanking the Bhagwat, thanking Lord Krishna for this opportunity. Prabhu, based on what you explained this morning, I have a little clearer idea on what and why I'm doing. Please come into my life and bring change. Sajam cha Varti Sanyukta Grahina Yojitam Mayam दीपं गृहाण देवेशं त्रैलोक्यात्मिदापहम् जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती
पापियों को पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती
ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेरनि राला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला पंचम वेरनि राला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही वरदान यही जग की मंगल दे आरती
पापियों को पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान
की है
आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती
जय जय भागवत भगवान की है
आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती
ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत पापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला पावन पुनीत पाप वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी ये मधुसूदन की आरती
पापियों को पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती
ये मधुर बोल जगवंद कोल सन मार्ग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला ये मधुर बोल बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही प्रभु की महिमा के आरती एवरीबॉडी जय जय भागवत भगवान की आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है गारती. As we come to the close of our first session with our hands together, Prabhu, as I'm learning, I'm listening, I'm growing, let the energy that comes from me, let it swell by your grace. And the challenges, the tribulations, the hindrances that I have to face, let it subside by your grace. If there is an evil entity, if there is an evil person, if there is an unrighteous person around me, Prabhu, by your luster, move it. Thank you for this chance. And now, as we conclude, bless us, Prabhu. Tvameva Mata. Everybody. Tvameva Bandusha. Tvameva Vidya. Tvameva Sarva. Tvameva Sarva. Together, Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Prem Svalomapati Mahadeva ki jai, Pavanasutta Hanumane ki jai, Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki jai, Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Satya Sanatan Dharma ki jai, jai jai, Sitaram. Sitaram, everybody. Please have your seat. Now, this is where we get a little different. If you are sitting for puja again, keep on the ring. If this is where you separate from us, Pandit Sunil will be there with you to close off. If you are keeping on the ring, the rule is when you have to go to the restroom, go by Pandit Sunil and say, Babs, please hold this for me. And do what you have to do and come back and put it on. For those of you now that are closing, maybe you want to eat something, take off your ring, and we go into the back outside where you will collect parsad after you get your RT. Get your RT in here, and when we go outside, because what I don't want, you know, sometimes when you go in different place, prayers, you see parsad bag kicking all over. I don't want that. So when we go out, we'll get our takari food and prasad, everything is outside. In the temple, the cooks and the creators took five finger and make pepper sauce. This morning you'll taste it. How you call it in kimchi? With amrak. If you like sour things, it have some outside, you'll taste it. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Sitaram, everybody. All right, so you'll see us starting back in a little bit, everybody.